Welcome to another amazing day at Pattaya City Expats Club at the Amari Tavern by the Sea. We had one of the most entertaining talks we've ever had. We had a guy singing solo songs, entertaining us, telling jokes, and telling us about his amazing journey to writing this book, which looks better this direction actually. It's called Amazing Thailand, A Farang's Guide to Good Living in the Land of Smiles, and it was written by one amazing man, Brad Walker. Welcome, and just tell us about how you come to what your present life is like and how you came to be living so up in a village in Isan.
Oh, you got to buy the book for that. Actually, the brief story is that I met a girl several years ago, married her, didn't exactly work, but we did build the house, and I decided to live in it, which I have done for the last 10 years, taking care of her mother and my stepdaughter, her daughter. But she is long gone.
He downplays this, but this is an amazing story, because how many Farangs do you know that met a girl in Pattaya and end up still living with the mother-in-law and the stepdaughter in the village in Thailand? And I gather why did you write this book? Why did you feel you had to write this book?
I was bored. I had a lot of time on my hands and a lot of experiences here in Thailand that I thought were worth sharing. I mean, I think this is an amazing place. I love it. I've lived in Hawaii for 30 years, and when I came here, I decided, well, I think maybe I'll move. So I wanted to explain why I did that, and that's pretty much what's in there.
And it has one of the shortest chapters I've ever read in any book. Would you like to explain to us about the shortest chapter, what it's called, and maybe recite the entirety of the chapter for us?
Well, amazingly enough, I can do that because that chapter is very short. The title is a lot longer than the chapter. It's called So You Want to Marry Thai. And the contents of the chapter is the word don't.
Yes, a few people might agree with you, but of course it does work out for some people.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
I was being facetious when I wrote that, everybody. Don't be offended.
Sure. And do you want to explain, perhaps, I hope it's not prying too much, but do you want to tell us why your marriage didn't work out as well as you might have hoped?
She had a lot of boyfriends.
A lot of Thai boyfriends. Yeah. And how did you discover that they were her boyfriends and not her brothers?
Well, I mean, it's just kind of, one of the things I wrote in the book is that you can eventually figure out that somebody's lying to you. I mean, you can. And, you know, one of the titles of the book was, why do they call Thailand Lieland? But they wouldn't let me put that in the name of the title. And I explain about the issue of face and the saving thereof and why that is much more important than integrity is in personal presentation. And the fact that my young wife was speaking to me very indelicately, I felt that probably I wasn't getting the straight story, and eventually one of her boyfriends actually called me on the phone and I busted her.
But obviously you became very fond of your stepdaughter. How old was your stepdaughter when you came into relationship with who became your wife?
She was 2 years old at the time, and she was a very frightened little girl. She didn't want to go to me. It took her a long time to warm up to me, but she's 17 now, and I made up my mind that she was not going to run the course that her mother did, who I still am friends with. I mean, I talk to her regularly, but I have taken it upon myself to educate, and teach her the propriety of living and stuff like that, the way I see it. Of course, she's a Thai, and she's going to always be one, and that's a great thing to be. And I just want her to get a little feeling for how it is to deal with Farang and feel comfortable in doing so and feel that she's loved, which she is very much.
And the book has many fascinating chapters in it, including chapters on scams in Thailand and tips for living and stuff. What's one of the scams that you were subject to yourself?
Well, the one that really was an inspiration, direct inspiration writing the book, was I bought a guest house in Hua Hin after I came into some money, and this was several years ago. And it turned out the lease I was sold was absolutely fraudulent. I didn't know that at the time until the real landlord came and said, oh, it's time to negotiate your lease, and he wanted a tremendous amount more money than had been written in the phony lease. And so I had to vacate the guest house after dropping $15,000 or $20,000 on it.
And one of the things that was particularly entertaining today is he actually sang us a couple of songs. And I'm going to get him to sing us one of those songs. But before I forget, this book is available at Asia Books, and it's also available at Bookazine. So you'll find Asia Books in Central Festival, and you'll find Bookazine at the Avenue and in Jomtien. So check it out, okay? So we're very privileged to this talk. One of the things he's going to do for us now is going to sing one of the songs that he sang for us in the actual meeting. This is a first for Pattaya Mail, okay?
Well, this song was actually, I have to credit somebody I've never met with entitling it and the concept inspiration. But the title of the song is Buy Me a Motorbike. And it goes like this. Oh, buy me a motorbike, I want a TV. My baby's sick, give some money to me. Maybe you love and want to marry me. Come to the village, meet my family. I love you, baby, can I have some more? Mama, no food, we must go to the store. And can you buy whiskey for my brother and gang? They drink all night, but no have us a tang. Oh, buffalo sick, must go doctor now. I call on you, 'cause you're my cash cow. Motorbike, TV, how about a gold chain? If your nest egg is gone, you go work again. And there's another verse, but
There's another verse in the book, so you have to buy the book to actually get the other verse.
Right.
And it's been just a joy. It was just an absolute joy talking to Brad Walker today and listening to his talk. One tip. What's the first tip you give a newbie who's fresh off the boat to Pattaya or upcountry? What's the very first tip?
Hang on to your wallet.
My first tip to all newbies is you absolutely have to believe there's a motorbike on the wrong side of the road trying to kill you. Okay, and I've still, even though I tell them that and tell them you cannot be too paranoid, I've still almost lost 2 newbies on the streets here and stuff. So survive. And yes, hang on to your wallet. And by the way, there's no such thing as a loan in Thailand. You know, it's a gift.
That's exactly right.
It's a gift.
I know a guy that just loaned his family, his in-laws, the money to buy a house. Build one, okay? And he built a rather nice house down the street from mine. I said, John, you ever expect to see that money again? He goes, no.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful place to live, and you do have to start to educate yourself about the cultural differences. And John, Brad's book is a great place to start. There are other great books. A great way to educate yourself is to come to the Pattaya City Expats Club. They have an open forum where you can ask questions and learn. Also, the website, I can't recommend the website too strongly. There is a really good section on living in Thailand with tips about, for instance, using tradesmen. People have used tradesmen and recommend them. And a really excellent section on visas and immigration where you can get, for instance, download forms and see how they're the proper way to fill them up. But meanwhile, this is Ren Alexander for Pattaya Mail and Pattaya City Expat Club, really thanking John Brad for a great talk. And we'll see you next week at Pattaya City Expat Club for another entertaining talk. This one will be about Japan. Okay, bye for now.